Welcome back, guys. Guess where we are today? We're in Texas. They got better weather than us in Florida. I can't believe I'm saying this. Anyhow, we're here for a couple days, maybe 4 or 5 days. We're here for Reefapalooza, Texas this weekend. And we're gonna be checking out a couple tanks. Always we're doing our tours, you guys know. Anyhow, you guys know Stephanie, AKA Queen of Reef. She invited us over to come and check out her tank. So we're on our way to her house right now. We can't wait to check it out. So let's go see what she's up to. Let's go, guys. Hey guys, we just made it here. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
We're here with Stephanie, aka Queen of Reef. You guys seen her on YouTube before? So real quick, she invited us over to see her tank, and here we are. I walked in and this thing looks beautiful. So how big is this tank?
This tank is the Waterbox 220.6, but it's not actually 220 gallons.
It's like a 200-ish,
it's
180?
like 165, just the tank, and then the whole system's like 200-ish gallons.
It looks big though. It almost reminds me like an old 180-gallon tank.
Yeah, no, it's quite big, and I think I undertook a lot because I've only had small tanks up till this point. I've only had a 29-gallon and a 40-gallon, and this is the biggest tank I've ever had, and it was a huge jump for me, and it's not something I'm used to. I don't think I would go this big again, but I do really love it. I think it fits the room well, so.
I think it looks beautiful. It's meticulous. It's very clean. The sand is just so fine. And how long has this tank been running?
So it has been running for 2-ish years. I say two-ish because right when I got this tank and started cycling it, I moved houses. So I had to start the whole aquascape, everything again.
So it's been on this location for a little over 2 years.
2 years.
It looks fantastic. Did you started those torches with just one?
Just one, and they have grown. I mean, they just will not stop growing.
Is that the OG Holy Grail?
That's the OG Holy Grail.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
I mean, just by looking right now, I want to assume you have a good 30 heads plus, maybe?
Oh, way more.
Way more, right?
Way more, yeah.
Because one of those has got to have like 10, 12 heads, right?
Right, the heads are super tight on it for some reason in my tank. So I think it's like been in captivity for about 10 years now. So it's just super hardy. And I think the trick is to, when you have a coral like a torch, to let it grow out into a colony size first before you start chopping it up. I feel like that definitely helps, because once the torch has already amassed a certain amount of heads, it just replicates like crazy from that point on, because every head is splitting, not just one. If you
it's a multiplier. What do you feed in the tank in general?
So with corals, I haven't really fed much recently, but I do like to feed like LPS pellets and like coral dust, mysis flakes. I sometimes feed brine shrimp and
so you try to mix it up
as well. Yeah, I try to mix things up and give them something new, but they're mostly just mysis.
I see you got the powder blue, we're saying.
Powder
you have
blue,
a fox face, you got some antheas. What kind of antheas are they?
Lyre tails.
Okay,
and I just added some recent ones, so they're fighting over who's trying to become male right now. Which
How many
is
you
really
have?
Interesting. I think I have 5 now, and 2 clownfish.
And that's cool. You got like a stormtrooper. Is that what that one's called? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's what they call
something
it,
like that. And then the other one is what, a regular percula?
Just a regular.
And then you spur them up. That's kind of cool. You know, I like that pair. It actually gives like a little better contrast. It's like a black and white and a red and white. It's so cool seeing them together. Some of the corals that catches my attention here. Let's start with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 head monster leather that you put in a frag rack. It grew right into the glass, as you guys can see right here. I'm pretty impressed. It's just cool to see. If you can film it later on from right here on the side, you can show people. How long has that thing been there?
7 months, 8 months or something.
7, 8 months?
And it just has grown completely on the glass there. It loves that spot. I don't really know what to do with it, so.
But one cool thing is, what I like about your tank is, you have a lot of corals that are super rare. For instance, I'm seeing some of those cool Bricordias over there. I see that bright red gunny. I see the rainbow chalice. I see some cool humas. I see Holy Grail torches that you got like 50 plus heads, whatever it is. And then I see something as simple as a leather coral, which to me, it's not about just collecting rare corals. It's like, what's gonna look good next to each other to create a contrast? And too many people are always chasing, I call them chasing their tail, trying to find the latest and greatest, thinking that a new coral, because it's rare, is gonna make their tank look better.
Right.
No, it's about the husbandry, it's about understanding what each coral needs. It's about moving a coral down or moving it higher so you can take more light. It's just adapting to the environment that the coral is asking you to, you know? And this it shows here, like I was saying, you have these beautiful leathers, but then you got a bunch of rare torches, and then you got this huge bubble coral ditch. You mind telling people a little story about this bubble coral?
Yes, so the bubble coral is my first ever coral that
Ever?
I've ever had. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I've had it all of these years. So I've had it 8 years now, something about that.
Cool.
And I've never fragged it because I didn't even know how to approach it, honestly. I mean, it's so large, and you know, fragging a bubble coral can be kind of difficult.
Intimidating, right?
Yeah, not something that I would do. So I just kind of let it grow. It's like a basketball now. It's huge, and
It is huge.
Sentimental. I mean, I'm not really crazy about bubble corals, I guess, in general, but it's just having your first coral. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it completely.
And then this rainbow chalice, you started with 3 frags that kind of like overlapping each other, but they're kind of joining and overlapping. It's so cool. The Bricordias over there, it is beautiful. It looks like a Belize Bricordia, and the way that it's looking so big and pink. You don't see them like that all the time. It looks gorgeous.
I have a bunch of them. They grow like crazy as well. They're really nice. But I like that, like you were saying, I think it's important to balance the types of corals you have, because if you only have high-end corals, like really nice, bright, obnoxious corals, they kind of dull each other out in the sense that nothing really stands out. I think by having a mixture of some pieces that you really like that are higher end or whatever, and then using more simple like bread and butter corals to balance that out can emphasize those corals that you want to emphasize more.
How long have you had the clan down there?
Oh, I got it at the last Reefapalooza in Orlando, actually. I got it from Clam Mania, and it's my first ever clam, and I'm just so excited.
And it's been growing a lot, right?
Yeah, it's doing so well. And I was really nervous at first because I was like, a clam, like, am I gonna take care of this correctly? But it's thriving. It picked its spot, and it's actually attached to the bottom of the tank, so there's no moving it on my end now.
Okay, and then for flow, you have 4 MP40s?
4 MP40s.
So how do you control the flow not to move the sand? That's a very good question I have for you.
I think just the positioning, playing around with the positioning and making sure that like it kind of hits the acros enough. I'm still kind of adjusting it right now since I added a lot more acros, trying to get that flow up so they're happy. But I think just keeping it up and trying to like balance, you know, messing around with them until you get it right.
Yeah, because it's not easy with the sand so fine, and I'm just realizing it's not moving a lot, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think just playing around with it.
And for lights, what are you using? Radians?
Radiant.
What, Gen 5 or 6? I can't
Gen 5.
Gen 5? 4 of them?
4 Gen 5, yes.
And roughly what is your light schedule looks like?
They run from, I want to say like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
So 12 hours a day?
Yeah. Corals tell you everything.
Oh, they do?
You need to know. You know, in terms of like adjusting the flow to and the lights and everything. It's
if they're unhappy, something's picking out and
parasites. Tell you
parasites.
everything. If you're observant, I think the most important thing in this hobby is to look at your tank every day.
Being observant, you got to be passionate about your tank. Once you do that, things become a lot easier. Can we check the equipment on the sump?
Yes, of course.
So what do you got going on here? Man, that's a big return pump. What kind is it?
Vectra L2.
L2,
Vectra L2, yeah, it's really good.
And then you got a Nios protein skimmer?
Nios 220 protein skimmer, and then in that same chamber, I have my heaters. So I have 2 300-watt ERS titanium heaters.
Okay.
Here I have my refugium, and I have, I used to have like an old Kessel light that I had over this, but I recently switched to these Tunzi Eco Chic like refugium lights, and they're waterproof, which is kind of cool. What else do I have? I have my Apex probes in there.
Okay, and over there, what do you have? Kalkwasser?
Kalkwasser, yes.
And you drip Kalkwasser 24/7?
No, I just dose it certain amount every day.
Okay, nighttime?
Yeah, so I do water changes every 2 weeks about.
2 weeks, and how much do you change?
Like up to about here.
So a good 20% or so?
20%. I use Red Sea Blue Bucket. I have always used Red Sea Blue Bucket.
Since the beginning, huh?
Yeah, and it gets your bucket a little dirty, but nothing that citric acid won't fix. So.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Calcium like 450-ish. Alkalinity about like 8.2. Magnesium light check.
14, 1500 or something like that?
Yeah.
Do you have any battery backup for the power heads?
Oh yes, I have a whole thing. I have a generator, I have fans. There was a big winter storm here a few years back, and that really scared me into like doomsday prepping for summer.
Yeah,
as well,
the snowstorm that you guys had a few years back, it was horrible.
No power for a week, and just snow like we lived in the mountains. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. Everything was shut down. A lot of people in Texas lost their tanks completely. So I was really lucky and fortunate that I had a generator just because I'm paranoid.
And you saved it.
Yeah, I saved everything. I didn't lose a thing.
I love these covers that you put here. Where you came with this idea?
Honestly, I had the bar before, the standard Ecotech bar, but I don't know, I kept seeing people do these kinds of interesting light fixtures online, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try that. So I got just regular old light shades from IKEA actually, and I just popped them in there. It's not finished though, because I want to obviously run the wires back through the wall so you don't see that. So it's still a work in progress, but once that's all fixed up with some extension cords and everything, it should look much better. But just standard light fixtures, it's really cool how you can kind of customize things like in that way, you know, to make it blend in more with your real furniture, I guess.
I think it looks really good. I love it. Stephanie here, Queen of Reef. She's got a YouTube channel. Can you tell them where they can go follow you?
Queen of Reef on YouTube and Instagram. Check me out. I'm documenting the progress of my tanks, and yeah, it's fun. Come subscribe, come join us.
Thank you for giving us your tour, all right?
Thank you so much for coming.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll see you and Dave this weekend at the show, you know?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. Wrap is my favorite.
Well, thank you guys for watching. No, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Give us a like. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll see you guys next time. And guys, don't forget, throughout this video, we're still hiding an Easter egg of Casper somewhere. I won't tell you where it's at. First 2 people to find them, post a comment below. We're gonna send your swag pack right to your door, as long as you're within the 48 states. See you guys soon.